Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today I'm going to take a look at some quick money making. But first, I've got to land this ship. Yes, once again, Frontier have left a long-standing bug into the live release of the game. A bugger reported back in the Beta 1 update that essentially renders it impossible from time to time to dock the Beluga. But at any rate, here we are about to make some quite significant cash, and this is all down to passenger missions. Just the basic transport from A to B missions. This one here, you can see, is valued at 8.8 million. Now I am using first class passenger cabins here, but you don't need a Beluga to use them. In fact, you can fit them to just about any ship. But you do need to be allied with the faction at the station in order to get missions that pay out this high. However, the more cabins you have, the more passenger missions you can actually take on, and that allows you to stack them. Sometimes, if you're fortunate enough, you can even get missions to the same destination. So with a Beluga, it's not too difficult to stack 15 to 20 million credits worth of missions, maybe even more, and these you can do in around about 30 minutes or so. Unfortunately, the Beluga hasn't got a great jump range, only just shy of 20 light years with the maximum FSD. Of course you can modify that with an engineer, but I haven't done so here. So before you do take any missions, it's a good idea just to check the destination to ensure you can actually make it there with this relatively low jump, although generally speaking it shouldn't be a problem. As you did see on those missions, they're all very close by, relatively speaking, no more than 60 light years, and it's more than possible to get many missions that are simply 12 or 20 light years away. And that of course means you can do these missions even in a Beluga with a single jump. Now from what I can see, these missions aren't specific to any certain station. They should be pretty much available anywhere, as long as there's a high population at least within the system and a reasonably good economy. You should be good to go. And again, I must stress that you do need to be allied to get those missions. You might be able to get some good ones by being friendly as well. But if you're only cordial and if you're just neutral, then the passenger missions, generally speaking, are going to be fairly low paying. Now just to stress that, you only need to be allied with the local minor faction, not with any of the major powers. And that doesn't really take too long to achieve. You can do it just by taking a bunch of low paying missions and just keep repeating them. So once again, you can see that bug hit in here. Bit of a nuisance, and it really did add significant time to these missions. I don't think everyone's affected by this. In fact, I've only actually seen a few people mention it, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here or why it's actually occurring. But one of the only ways to fix it is to log out and come back in again. And of course, while I'm doing this, I did get scanned, and the passengers are not too happy with that. Logging out and back in again then, I finally managed to dock, but not before getting scanned a few more times, yet again decreasing the passengers' happiness. Fortunately enough though, this didn't have any effect on the outcome of the mission, and I was still able to hand it in, successfully transporting the passenger to where they wanted to go and getting a nice reward. So going back to the start of the video there, you will have noticed the 8.8 million credit mission that I actually got. Now they are more on the high end, they don't show up too often, but they do show up on occasion. Incidentally, some gorgeous backdrop there, something I wish I'd got some external footage of, but didn't notice too much at the time. The most common payout you get for these missions usually ranges between 2.5 and 3.5 million. But again, you can stack them, so it soon adds up, and even in an ASP, you can take on 2 or maybe 3 of those missions depending on how you configure your ship, and that will soon give you 7 to 8 million, and you're usually about to do that in 15 to 20 minutes in a ship of that speed. Now I'm not sure if Frontier are going to leave this in. It is pretty darn high paying after all. It's quite possible that I might get accused a bit of bringing this to too wide a attention and thus contributing towards its eventual patching out. But I've got to say that ultimately I think that everyone deserves a fair chance of making money from these types of missions. One really nice thing I can certainly say about passenger missions is that they carry you to some really stunning locations, and ultimately I found that these much better to do in an ASP Although you can't fit as many passengers at once, the ship has a better jump range and is much faster. But one word of warning, do avoid the criminal passengers. Look how quick this happens. So I was carrying a criminal passenger there, one quick scan, and I was instantly destroyed. Apparently that's meant to be a bug, so I don't know if it'll eventually be patched out. Hopefully it will be. And had I been in the beluga still, that would have been a pretty high insurance claim. At any rate, if you want some decent money at the moment, do check out the transport passenger missions. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.